Look at this thing. She's clean. Guy brought it to me, said they were out riding. It's his daughter's sled. It died. So they put some new plugs in it. And he said it rode for a little bit longer. I think he said like 15 miles, 10 to 15 miles or something, back to their cabin. He said they almost made it to their cabin and it shut off on them. It still pulls over pretty good. His daughter said that it sounded like somebody was dragging cans behind a car. That's what it sounded like under the hood. So that's not a good sign. We're gonna dive into it and see what's going on. Probably gonna hit it with a quick compression test real quick, just to kind of get a good guideline of, you know, what damage has been done. Hopefully they didn't hurt the bottom end at all. Hopefully it's just top end. Oil pump could have gone out, which means I don't know where the oil pump is. I don't know if I can. We'll get there in a second. Do a quick compression test, see where we're at. And yeah, it sounds like top end could be crank. We'll see though, boys. But yeah, she's clean. I think it's got like 2,000 miles on it, and it's an 04 or 05. I think it's an 04. I don't know when they switched chassis. I think it was 05. But yeah, so gonna do that real quick, and then I'll be back at you boys when I got the readings. All right, so scratch the compression test. There's a bunch of metal on this spark plug, so I don't want to pull it over to do a compression test and score the cylinder up any more than it already is, because obviously it's top end. We're going to see if it's bottom end as well. So we're just going to tear this apart real quick and get down to it. Alright boys, so I just popped these screws off just because, but we're going to start taking this shit off. So I've already got unplugged this from the computer, and then you got to unplug this from the coil pack. Go to the plugs right here, pop this little plastic clip off here, okay, and then you're going to want to take your fuel line off this nipple on the fuel pump. Just grab some like pliers like this and just put them on the hose like this and just wiggle back and forth until it breaks free, and you can just pull it off. So we're just gonna, and then you got this little rubber grommet back here. Okay, so we're just gonna pop this off real quick, boys. It should come off pretty easily. Try to keep these fuel lines out of the way. Down here. There we go. Whoops. Tip it up like that, move those lines out of the way, and we're free. So, oh, you hear that? What the heck? All right, we're gonna investigate what that is. We'll be right back. All right, guys, this is all what came out of the airbox. This to me looks like piston chunks. So, yeah, that's not good. So, next step, pop these carbs off. Get that little Phillips right there on both. Pull them off. Unscrew this from each carb. Unscrew these from each carb. Take your choke off each carb. Pop your fuel lines off each carb. And then pull the carbs off. And we'll go from there, boys. Popped all the lines off, chokes off, everything. Got the oil injection lines off here. There's another one over here. Just want to be careful when you're taking those off, you know, you don't want to crack one or tear one. I might replace them, but they feel pretty good, honestly. They're not too stiff or hard. Carbs are over here, chilling. Probably gonna clean them just because it seems like there's some metal in one of them from these chunks of metal. Time we're going to take some springs off. Take these two 13 mil bolts off. It looks like 3. There's one here too. Take these springs off. Get the exhaust up and out of our way, and then we're gonna pop off this big cover with the pull start on it. Take this off, and then we'll pop the head off and see the damage. All right, boys, moment of truth here. Got these head bolts on, popped off. Definitely some metal in there. Grab my flashlight real quick. Oof. Did you guys see that head? Ooh. What the hell? That is not good. Yikes. Got some metal in there for sure. The cylinder might be toast. The cylinder's definitely toast. So, yeah. We'll get it apart, boys, and keep diving. So I just popped this off. I put a little X on it there, and I put a little X on the flywheel right here, just so when I go to put it back together, I put it back the same way it came apart. I don't know if it matters, but I just like to do that stuff sometimes. So I'm gonna pop this flywheel off now so I can take all these bolts off and get this shroud off. That way I can pop these cylinders off. So we're just moving along. I used the impact to get this off and these off, just so I wasn't, you know, holding the motor and stuff. It's way easier. So it's 10 mil and a 12 mil. So if you guys are wondering how to get the flywheel off, it's a 22 mil. Just spin it off with the impact, and then I'm just using a harmonic balancer puller kit. So pretty simple. We're just gonna put it together real quick, and then I'll kind of show you guys what I'm gonna do. So real easy. All right, so we got this all rigged up. As you can see, there's the harmonic balancer puller on it. We're just using the existing 3 holes on here. I used the bolts from the kit, these brass ones here. I put them in until they all stopped. You know, they just got a little snug, so I stopped. They're all even. I got a 19 mil socket on here with the impact. We're just gonna give it a couple bumps. Now we're gonna give it a couple taps with a hammer. Zip on real quick. I'm gonna give it a couple more taps with a hammer. She should pop off. Give it a couple more whacks, so we'll see if it wants to pop. Pretty violent, but she's off. That's how you do it. So take that now. It's all good to go. Take that off in a little bit. Put that back together. She's all looking good in there. So we're gonna pop off these 5 screws. Looks like they're 12 or 13 mil. They're all 12 mils, so we're just gonna zip those off real quick, and then we'll be able to pop these cylinders off. I am gonna have to take this exhaust off real quick just so I can separate them, but we're getting there, boys. Got a little trick for you boys. I cut this Allen key down quite a bit to get to these top two manifold bolts. So check this out. Put it in there like this. Make sure it's in there all the way. Now, I like to use a long extension with a deep socket on the end. And I slide it over like this. Make sure it's in there all the way. Give it a pull. And it just broke free so nicely. So, here's a little trick for you guys. The rest of them I could get out with my socket on a ratchet. So that's pretty nice. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. If you guys are kind of stumped on how to get these out, yeah, just cut an Allen key down. So, my GoPro died just now, so I figured I'd whip out the old iPhone. We just got this bad boy pulled from this bad boy. Got all these bolts busted out. I'm gonna go inside, grab some Ziploc baggies real quick. None of my clutch pullers seem to work for this, so I have to order one. Hold her with your thumb, boys, when you pull it out so it doesn't fling across the room. But it's really that easy. I'm just using a little snap-on flathead with some rubber tape around it, even though these pistons are coming out. Well, we got this crank out, boys. That bearing's toast. Hear it? Hear that one? Can't hear that one. But you can hear that one. And then rod's toast. This one's fun. So we could get some new bearings pushed on and new rods pressed on, but it's probably going to be cheaper just to find a good used crank. So we'll see what the guy wants to do, but yeah, so new crank, new pistons and rings. We're going to clean this case all up, probably get it vapor blasted or something. And then we'll get this thing back and running. We're gonna get a new jug too for this side. She's toast, as you can see. So, there's a store by me that has a used crank and a jug for sale. They're good. I bought a lot of parts from them. They're called Recycled Cycles. They're awesome. So, we'll probably do that and then order a new top end for it and get them back on the snow.